Impact of COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has unleashed unprecedented global turmoil. Its effects surpass the Great Depression of 1929 in scale and complexity. This crisis has reshaped economies, societies, and international relations worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic has swept across the globe like a devastating tsunami, causing more severe consequences than the global Great Depression of 1929. The lockdowns imposed by countries were unprecedented and not seen during the Depression era. Additionally, the practice of wearing masks as a means to contain the virus was also absent during that time. Governments' massive investments in vaccine research and the frantic competition for vaccine procurement were unheard of in the context of the Depression. The lockdowns have led to a clash between citizens and governments, resulting in economic turmoil, protests, global recessions, panic buying, supply chain disruptions, shipping crises, shortages of goods, inflation, and the cancellation or postponement of major events. The requirement to wear masks has even sparked political strife and ideological conflicts, adding another layer of complexity. Furthermore, the distribution of vaccines has highlighted a divide between wealthy and poor nations. Wealthy countries have ample supplies while poorer ones struggle to secure doses, waiting for the United Nations COVAX initiative, only to find themselves as breeding grounds for viral mutations. This has allowed the virus to penetrate even well-vaccinated wealthy nations, causing surges in cases and prolonging the pandemic, thus raising the demand for vaccinations once again. The cycle of inequitable vaccine distribution seems destined to continue indefinitely. Moreover, the pandemic's origins in Wuhan, China, have fueled Western countries' blame towards China, intensifying anti-China sentiments compared to previous years. This has contributed to an arms race in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait and has sparked discrimination and hostility towards Chinese and Asian communities in Europe and the United States. Although the Biden administration has avoided the inflammatory language of the previous Trump administration, the atmosphere of discrimination and animosity remains pervasive and is unlikely to change quickly. As of now, the most severe impacts of COVID-19 on global economic development include inflation, supply chain disruptions, and shipping crises. By December 2021, the overall inflation rate in the U.S. reached 7%, the highest in 40 years, while the core price index surged by 5.5%, marking the largest increase in 31 years. This inflation is widely believed to result from supply chain interruptions and shipping challenges caused by the pandemic. While optimists argue that inflation will quickly subside once the pandemic is under control and supply chains normalize, the reality is less encouraging. The pandemic has proven difficult to contain, with continually evolving viruses. Although the virulence may decrease, transmissibility has increased. What was expected to end with widespread vaccination was unexpectedly complicated by the rapid global spread of the Omicron variant from South Africa. The surge of Omicron has caused significant labor shortages in the U.S. as workers exited the job market, making recovery more challenging. Furthermore, China's strict zero-COVID policy has severely disrupted its dominant global supply chain. Compounded by stringent measures surrounding the Spring Festival and the Beijing Winter Olympics, which further complicated supply chain logistics worldwide. Additionally, the pandemic has severely impacted shipping. Labor shortages have affected transportation and port operations in both the U.S. and China, resulting in massive cargo backlogs at ports and soaring shipping costs. This has exacerbated the inflation crisis, compounding the difficulties already posed by the pandemic.